A Russian woman accused of being a spy has won her legal battle against deportation from Britain. Katerina Zatuli-Vetter was accused of trying to siphon information while having an affair with a British member of parliament she was working for. RT's Ivor Bennett's been following the case in London. He joins us live with more. Ivor, so the ruling must be a great relief for Ms. Zatuli-Vetter. Tell us more about all of this.
Well, you could certainly see the relief on her face after she was told that she would not be deported and she can indeed stay in the UK after all. The court and panel of 3 judges, including a former head of the British Security Service, ruled that on balance of probabilities she was not and is not a Russian spy. But it's certainly not been easy for her to reach this point. She was arrested 12 months ago, back in December last year, on suspicion of being a spy. And since then, according to her lawyers, she's been living a Kafkaesque nightmare. She's been living under very strict bail conditions. The Home Secretary, after her arrest a year ago, said that she should be deported. She was given the chance to contest that ruling at a hearing that ended last month, but during those whole proceedings she was never actually allowed to see or hear the evidence against her that the MI5 said it had. The MI5, Britain's Security Service, said it was too sensitive in terms of national security for it to be made public, and so if there was any evidence against her, we will of course never actually know what it was at all. But the Home Office has actually already come out and said in reaction to this ruling that it stands by its original accusations that Katerina Zatuli-Vetter was indeed a spy and should be deported. But given the fact that these claims have been rejected by the court today, according to Katerina Zatuli-Vetter's lawyers, the MI5 case against her was indeed based more on speculation than fact.
Their case was built entirely on speculation, prejudice and conjecture. It was amateur, poorly researched. We hope that the government will reflect very carefully on today's judgment, which must raise serious concerns as to the standards of professionalism and competency within the security service.
What was the prosecution's case for her deportation?
Well, their main point was that she was accused of being used as a honey trap by the Russian intelligence services, tapped up from her time in St. Petersburg, where she studied international relations, and specifically targeted a British member of Parliament in order to gain access to top secret documents. Now, the man in question was Mike Hancock, a member of Parliament, and also who had a seat on the Parliamentary Select Committee for Defence and also Russia. So he had access to some top-level documents. We do know also that they had an affair for 4 years, and also we do know that she was working for him as his researcher in Parliament, so potentially had access to these documents. But that's about all we know. And so in terms of concrete proof and concrete evidence to suggest that she was indeed a spy, that's about all we heard. As I said, the rest of the evidence, if there was any that the MI5 had, was given behind closed doors because it was deemed too sensitive. So her defence, the bulk of it throughout the hearing, was to try and show that her relationship with Mike Hancock was indeed a genuine one, even though he was 3 times her age. And actually the court in its ruling did actually say that it decided that her relationship with him was enduring and genuine on both sides, and that helped it to reach its final ruling, to find that she probably wasn't on balance a Russian spy. And of course those 3 judges who did hear the evidence behind closed doors, they also said that we have seen nothing which satisfies us that she was recruited as an agent or was tasked or acted as one, and apparently they say that this was not reached by a narrow margin. So they're very much convinced on balance that she wasn't a spy and therefore has been allowed to remain in Britain and will not be deported.
All right, RT's Ivor Bennett live for us in London. Thanks for that update.